everyone. Anthony will make the presentation, and if you have any questions, either him or me will answer. So, Anthony, go ahead.
Sure. Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Anthony Melini, Director of Facilities, and I'm here to present the Facilities Operation Maintenance proposed budget for the 21-22 school year. Next. So I always like to start out with the budget cost drivers, talk a little bit about utilities, and just to give you an idea of where we are and what we experienced during the course of the year. NIPA is our electrical provider. Overall cost, we anticipate them to increase along with our solar PPA and natural gas, approximately 1.5% in the coming school year. This year we expended $155,000 to date on electrical costs through NIPA. And our utility budget for the 21-22 is approximately the same as last year, $563,000. And you can see the breakdown for solar, electrical provider NIPA, and Con Edison, which provides our gas, and electric for our ball field lights. In the current bond, to help with our costs, we installed some exterior solar wind powered LED lighting at FGL. And if you remember, we really didn't have any street lighting at the Frank G. Lindsay facility. So with this bond, we have the opportunity to put some lighting there on the outside, so the parking lot is better lit at night. We installed some exterior wall pack LED lights at Buchanan Plank, and we installed LED lighting in the renovated areas district-wide. So as we were doing renovations to the different spaces, we always look to put the best lighting that we can. So we have LED lighting with occupancy sensors going into those spaces. We're considering additional LED lighting, possibly through another energy performance contract. The last one we did, we went from T12s to T8 lighting, and now we have the opportunity to potentially go to LED, and that'll help us in the future with our costs as well. Next slide. Just some solar data. So if you remember, we have 5 buildings that produce solar power. Solar power accounts for about 40% of the district needs. Since inception in March of 2016, we produced 4,155 megawatt hours since we've been running it. And the following data shows what we've been producing per building. So the high school, the middle school, Furnace Woods, Frank G. Lindsay, and Buchanan Plank. And from that data, you can see our biggest array is at Furnace Woods. And during this 2020 actually the 2020 year, we ran completely on solar from February through December at Furnace Woods. At Buchanan Plank during 2020, it ran on solar from July through December. And at Frank G. Lindsay, it ran on solar 7 out of the 12 months. So to give you an idea of, what the solar arrays has the capacity to do, granted, our occupancy during 2020 in the spring was less than normal, and we curtailed as much as we could, but it shows how we defrayed that cost and we put it onto solar. Next. Some other utilities, we have our fuel oil. The cost per gallon of oil has decreased from last winter. Last year it was $1.85 per gallon. This year it's $1.73 per gallon. And we expect it to rise. One of the reasons why that seems a little odd, because if you've been going to the pump and been seeing the fuel prices, they are coming back up again. But from last year to this year, it has dipped because over the summer, it dipped drastically. Our fuel oil prices were ridiculously low over the summer and into the fall. Some of the fuel saving measures that we do with the bond, we did a lot of exterior door replacement, so that'll help tighten up the building envelope. Our guys watch the forecast and plan accordingly, and potentially we'll do another energy performance contract, EPC. Propane, it increased in cost from last year at this time, and the budget for propane will increase slightly in 2021-22. Even though we don't really have to move the numbers that much in our actual physical budget. Natural gas usage and costs lower than last year, but those prices are slightly lower than last year, and then we expect those to increase slightly in the 21-22 school year. Next. So here are some of the numbers. Our non-instructional salaries have increased. The dollar change is about $68,000, which represents a 2.4% increase. For equipment, we moved that number up a little bit. We actually took some money out of our professional services and moved it into equipment. Professional services, we had some regulatory requirements that we have to do this year in terms of testing and things like that. And next year, we don't have that same requirement. So we took that out and we moved it over into equipment. And you can see those different cost variables there. Contractual, insurance, maintenance, contracts, and materials and supplies, we kept them the same for the upcoming year. Next. So utilities, oil, we did bump that up a little bit, $8,000, which represents a 3.2% increase for the coming year. Electric and gas, I think we're going to do okay with that, so we kept that the same. Municipal water, we don't expect an increase or drastic. Telephone, gas, and our maintenance projects, we kept the same. So the bottom line, we're looking at about a $76,000 increase overall, which represents a 1.6% change. Next. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Hey,
Thank you,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, I've got one question, Anthony. So for the solar, I see that, we had a lot of solar generation in 2020, and we had very little snow last year. This year we've got a ton of snow. Do you guys clean off the solar panels after the snows to continue generation?
We generally do not do that, only because it's not our system. It's a power purchase agreement. So they're owned by, it's not Sun Edison anymore, Terra Firm, but it's their product. So if they see a drastic change in something, they'll come out and they'll do repairs and they come out and do the cleaning. We don't like to do that only because it's not our system. And it is, you don't want people up there it's tight to walk between the panels and everything. So it's not really a safe situation to go up there. Roofs can get icy in the winter. You don't want anybody slipping off the roof. So it's not really a safe environment for my guys to go up there.
Okay, so we don't own the systems then. What is the $120,000 for that we pay for solar if we're not paying back the loan?
So it's through a power purchase agreement. So what we do, how it works is we pay for everything it generates. So as long as it's generating power that we're using, we pay for that, and that's how it works. So if it doesn't generate any power because it has snow on it, obviously we switch back to NYPA. NYPA's our electrical provider. So there's really no hurt for us. It's more in their interest if they have a damaged system or if their power inverters are not working. It behooves them to come out here and get the system up and running.
So is the benefit to us then we're just paying a lower cost per kilowatt hour than we would to NYPA?
So yes. So what it does is it also streamlines our pricing or flatlines our pricing. So we know what it is. So several years ago, and the same thing that's happening down in Dallas now or Texas now, if their prices spike for some reason or our prices spike for some reason, we have the ability to pay for solar, and we know what that cost is going to be. So what it does is it helps us hedge our bet where we're going to be product-wise and cost-wise. So several years ago, when we had a really bad winter, we had the polar vortex, we wound up paying, 1 month cost us an extra $70,000 in our electric bill. So this, because we're running on solar, we're trying to hope or hedge our bet that we won't get hit with something like that and kind of streamline our costs.
Okay, and what is the life on the equipment, given that it sounds like we're leasing the equipment?
Mm-hmm. It's
a purchase. It's a purchase, and it's for 20 years. After 20 years, we buy the equipment for $1 basically. If we want, but so you know, the cost, the total cost, not for us, the total cost for us was $0, but the total cost to install the system was about $2.6 million. Out of that $2.6 million, around $2 million was the cost of installation and $600,000 the cost of the panels.
Yeah.
So in 20 years, we assume that there's going to be much better panels, and it won't cost us to have to take them out. The same company that are the owners today, if they are the owners in 20 years and we decide that it's more efficient, or whomever is in my position and Anthony's position decides that it's more efficient to go to new ones, then you just call the company that installed this and you say, please take them out, and that's it. Or if we see that there's been no upgrades in the panels, then we buy them for $1.
And if we assume ownership, does that mean then that we get the full benefit of whatever we generate?
Yes. Then we own it. Then we own the whole system.
So we're only paying this company per kilowatt hour that's generated, nothing for the equipment.
Correct.
Nothing. And it didn't cost us anything to install it, and it doesn't cost us anything to run it.
Okay, and how far into the 20 years are we? Just trying to.
This is the 6th year. Next year is going to be the 6th year, Anthony.
Yeah, 2016 they were installed.
Okay, so in 14 years, then whatever we generated will be ours.
If we decide to keep them.
There might be panels that are more efficient, might not be worthwhile.
Right. Okay.
But so you know, at this point, the increase is 1.5% per year. We're paying about 17 cents now, Anthony.
For them, yeah, somewhere around there, maybe a little less.
Compared to about 22 cents for night.
Okay, so we're
always way below.
It's like a 5-cent differential.
Yes.
And that's where we're making the money. Okay.
Yeah, saving the money. Yeah.
Saving. Okay. But we have to make up, like, when do we break even on the 2.6 million that we spent?
No, we didn't spend anything. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
You see, someone else spend the $2.6 million to have a contract with us to buy them electricity at a specific price over the next 20 years.
So we let them do that for 5 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Which is saving us tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Anthony. Now.
Thank you.